Today on the channel from Jack's Class Superstars Series 19, we've got Cactus Jack, we've got Mankind, and we've got Kevin Sullivan.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Jack's Class Superstars unboxing and review. And today from Series 19, we've got Kevin Sullivan and two of the three faces of Foley in Mankind and Cactus Jack. But for all your modern day wrestling figure needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal all day long. Two of the three faces of Foley couldn't get Dude Love in this set. That would have been something. Of course, we did get Dude Love in the infancy of the Class Superstars series, so I guess there wasn't room for him again here in Series 19. But of course, we're going to do this like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it, kind of, and talk about it and see where it goes from there. So I don't have to unbox all of these guys. I do have a couple of loose versions, so we'll get into that in a second. But let's start it off with the LJN version first in the series here. As we do know, we're kind of in the middle of that madness of the LJN series, or an LJN stylized figure in each one of these series. I've said it before, I guess I'll say it again now. Not a huge fan of these. It takes away a little bit from the line. I would have rather had these as a subset, something like that, but it is what it is. I guess no change in the past after all these years. But we do get Mankind, which is pretty cool. Now, I would have preferred Cactus Jack in the LJN style, but Mankind probably makes more sense. Obviously, it is his most popular of his personalities, of course. But you get Mankind looking pretty good right there. You got the LJN style blue, the Superstars right there, and a little glamour shot. And you get, of course, Mankind on the side. On the back, we got the big cross cell. We got the UPCs. We got the warnings. We got the glamour shot. We got the blur. We got the tail of the tape. It's all there for us. Let's see what it says about old Mankind here. Debuted 1983, 297 pounds, 6'2", finishing move, the mandible claw, and double arm DDT. Titles, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, World Tag Team Champion, and Hardcore Champion. Of course, Mankind stole a lot of hearts back in the day. Like I said, he is probably the most popular persona of Mick Foley over the years. Personally, I'm a Cactus Jack guy, and we'll talk about him here in a second. But I do have this loose, of course, so I'm going to grab him right here. I guess this looks pretty good. I think it's a perfect pose for Mankind to be in as far as this series goes. It makes a lot of sense. He's got the smiley face tie going on. Of course, Mr. Sacco. All day long, you know this is Mankind, I think, at the end of the day. I will say, though, we talk about the Jack Sticky Disease all the time here on the channel, and this one is one of the stickiest. One of the stickiest LJN figures for whatever reason. The plastic, not exactly sure. Need to give it a once-over with another thing of plastic tape, or the packing, clear packing tape, really, is what kind of counteracts that. But unfortunately, it just seems to come back. It takes a little bit, but it comes back with a vengeance, and I don't know, you don't want to do it all the time, obviously, but it is an interesting one, a good-looking one. It is the LJN representative of this series, and I'm okay with it. It's definitely better than some of the other ones, looking at you, Trish Stratus, looking at you, Hardy Boys, but it is okay. But there it is. There's old Mankind. Not a lot to be said about these. There's no articulation, no nothing. It's just a rubber statue, kind of like the good old days. Oh, the good old days, like I always say. All right, now we're going to turn our attention over here to Cactus Jack. Now, as I said earlier, my favorite of the Foley personalities. Absolutely love Cactus Jack. Stole my heart a long, long time ago in the old GWF days as a young Cactus Jack Manson. I just loved him then, followed him to WCW, followed him to ECW, followed him to WWE, and so on and so on. I've shared a pizza one night with him as well, as you guys know by now. But absolutely love this figure. I was so hyped up for this figure when it came out. Of course, we did get 3 Cactus Jack figures in the Class Superstars line, and we got one as a Toy Fair exclusive that was very similar to this one. Different accessories, of course, a stamp on the leg, just a few things to be different, different boots, but a very similar version of Cactus Jack. But I absolutely love this one. It does have its faults like any figure out there, but definitely a cool-looking figure here. You got Cactus on the side. You got the classic Cactus Jack t-shirt going on. Oh, yeah, everybody's got to have that shirt. And then the back, of course, you got the cross-sell, warnings, UPCs, blurb, and then, of course, the glamour shot and the tail of the tape. It's all back there. Let's see what it says about our old buddy Cactus Jack. Weight 297 pounds, 6'2". Finishing move, the good old double arm DDT. Titles, WWE Champion, kinda. World Tag Team Champion, Hardcore Champion, Cactus Jack. So, beautiful, beautiful. Without further ado, let's get him out of the package here. Gotta pull him out. Maybe. There he goes. Oh, just tough pulling these guys out of the package sometimes. Ooh, there it is. There it is. See you later. Goodbye. Off to the races. And of course, he does have his barbed wire baseball bat here. Hopefully no plastic staining. We'll see if that's in the cards for us here with Cactus Jack, but there he is in the plastic prison. Now let's pop him out. Pop him out. See you later. Goodbye. And we do get a great accessory in the barbed wire baseball bat. Works all day with Cactus Jack. Of course, I do prefer this bat over some of the other bats we've had. When they do the little extra attention to detail, they paint the silver on the barbed wire, goes so far for these. Without it, it just doesn't work. But when you paint the silver, oh baby, we're in business right there. So that does look good on that accessory. Absolutely love that. Then we get Cactus Jack. And the one thing that's always interesting about these Cactus Jack figures in the classic line is how he's got the old buggy whip arms, as one might say, like a Jake Roberts type arms. I mean, Cactus Jack, obviously no Ultimate Warrior in the body department. We know that. But it does have very interesting, just kind of regular dude arms is what it looks like. So no pun intended with the dude. But it is different, and it does actually work, and it does look good, I feel. We got a little Velcro on the side. He doesn't have anything underneath him. Do we have staining? I'm looking. It doesn't seem to be stained, so I don't know what it is. It's so weird how sometimes a shirt's stained, sometimes they don't. We're talking Jazzwares, we're talking Mattel, we're talking Jakks. It's like you think they would say, okay, this one didn't stain, let's use that material going forward. That's what you would think they would say. Apparently they don't, as we still see. Happy to report no sticky hair disease. Big old mane on Cactus Jack, got the tied up there, but just tons and tons of hair. Even got that kind of poodle up top going on. Beautiful. All day long, you know this is Mick Foley Cactus Jack all day long. I love the tongue sideways between the two front teeth. Just classic Cactus Jack. Talked about the soft goods shirt. Beautiful. Wanted dead. Dead, no alive there. Cactus Jack, a fabulous, one of the most iconic wrestling shirts of all time. Very, very cool. And then you get the old cowboy boots he used to wear. This really feels like old school Cactus Jack Manson almost, but not quite. He had a singlet on underneath that stuff. But then you get the cactus, very fitting, of course. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Beautiful this time of year right here. You got the cactus on the pants here. Just all around an absolute fabulous figure. I don't think he can hold this very well, though. That is one thing that's weird. He does have the bang bang fingers, which is really awesome. I love that idea. But he really can't hold the barbed wire bat unless he's going to hold it in the middle, which kind of strange to do that. But the bang bang fingers are very classic, very cool for Cactus Jack. Just a phenomenal figure. One of the best figures in the line, of course. And if you ever saw my top 5 Cactus Jack figures of all time, he was on that list, if I do remember so myself. But very, very cool, very awesome figure. Happy to have a must-have Cactus Jack figure, if you ask me. Now we're going to finish it off with the old Taskmaster, old Kevin Sullivan, partner of Mankind, or partner of Cactus Jack at one time, of course, as Cactus takes a header. Yeah, he didn't like that comment. He didn't like to remind us of the olden days. Of course, the Taskmaster. Kevin Sullivan, one of the all-time great wrestlers of all time as far as everything. Of course, booking, wrestling, angles, things like that. A guy that's, I wouldn't say is forgotten all these years later, but some of the great stuff he did way back in the day, of course, in Florida, where he really made his name, has kind of been forgotten, I would say. But man, he was like kind of Bray Wyatt before Bray Wyatt, you could almost say. I mean, Bray Wyatt, a little different story this day and age with all the extra effects and money into things. But he lived a devil's gimmick. People thought he straight up worshipped Satan on a daily basis. So convincing people about that kind of stuff is a pretty good job, if you ask me. And very cool to get a Kevin Sullivan figure. We really don't get Kevin Sullivan figures really ever. We got some OSFTMs back in the day, of course we know. We got this classic superstar. We do have a Zombie Sailor Retro coming, which I was shocked he is going to be in Series 2 because he is such a deep cut. It is going back to his Satan worshipping days, so I thought that was pretty cool all in all. But this Kevin Sullivan was the first one in a long time, and a pretty solid figure as well. Let's look at Kevin Sullivan in the package. Got a beautiful, beautiful robe. Jakks didn't spare any expenses on some of these robes from time to time. And then he does have a microphone because he was a guy that loved to talk. There it is. Kevin Sullivan on the side. Other side, you got a little glamour shot of Kevin. And on the back of the package, we got the cross-sell warnings, UPC's blurb, tail of the tape, and the glamour shot. It's all there for us. So let's see what it says about Kevin Sullivan. Debuted 1992. I don't think that's right. 240 pounds, 5'11". Finishing move, the old double stomp. What about the Trio Woe? The Trio Woe, come on. Titles World Tag Team Champion. So very, very cool looking figure here. This is one, of course, I had to have loose in my collection. Absolutely do love this one. Beautiful big-time robe going on here. Very cool. He used to be a member of the Varsity Club, too, if you guys remember the Varsity Club in the NWA back in the day. Another great stable. Just a lot of cool stuff he did over the years. Like I said, it just feels like a little forgotten for whatever reason. But a very cool robe. Underneath this robe, we got all the black tights. Very plain Jane figure underneath. The robe really does add a lot to this figure. And it's interesting, a guy like him getting a robe where like later on we'll see a Jack and Jerry Briscoe or the Ivan Putski we saw before. Really no bells and whistles of any kind with those guys. I guess they didn't always wear fancy robes, but it is what it is. So, but it's not plain Jane is what I like about this one. And the hood here, I mean, you can pretend he's in the Dungeon of Doom. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this Kevin Sullivan figure. He does come with the microphone, like I said, the black microphone from Jax we've seen a billion times. Not a million, billion with a B, as you guys know. The only knock I really have on this is the head is a little bit big. It is quite the big-headed figure. But besides that, you can kind of look past it. I think most people would know it's Kevin Sullivan, but you'd have to know who Kevin Sullivan is in the first place. But you take it to a lot of long-time wrestling fans, they're going to know this is Kevin Sullivan. I'm fairly confident at that. But very, very cool. You can just hear that Boston accent coming through when you look at him. He's got his mouth wide open like he's screaming and yelling, cutting a promo. Just very, very cool. And like I said, him and Cactus Jack had their time together in WCW as well back in the day. Get him to stay there. But an interesting lineup in Series 19. Some of my absolute favorites. I love deep cuts like Kevin Sullivan. Some of the classic guys. Cactus Jack, an all-time favorite of mine. And a guy in Mankind that definitely felt warranted in the LJN setup. So a good three-pack of wrestlers right here. You can't go wrong with any of them if you ask me. But now I'm going to ask you, what do you think about these three? Easy pickups, easy passes? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and every single Tuesday, a new Classic Superstars video. And you can get early access to these videos by being a member of the Patreon. Early access to all videos, bonus content, exclusive content, and be a part of the monthly giveaways over there on Patreon. And best of all, you can support the channel. And you can also support the channel over there at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And then follow along on social media. SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Kevin Sullivan, I am Kyle. And I'll see you guys all real soon.